What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today we're going to go over the Kuna Matata from HS Products, imported by Springfield Armory. If you don't know who HS Products are, they make the Hellion, they make the Hellcat, the Echelon, this one here. Some really cool stuff brought into you by Springfield Armory. And what is my relationship with Springfield Armory themselves? They do send me out firearms for review, but they do not pay me for these reviews. They don't even see my videos before I even put them out. So just as you're watching this video, they're watching it at the same time. And in typical embargo fashion, you're going to see a bazillion and one different Kuna videos today, because today is the official release date of this guy here. I did have this one for about, I would say I got it maybe about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and I have been shooting a little bit of rounds to it, and I'll get into that in a second. But let's just go over the details on this little one here. So right at the front, you have this little, like, I don't know how many ports this is. Let me see, 2, 4, 6 different ports on that muzzle brake there. Works pretty well, but I mean, this one's chambered in 9mm, so it's not really gonna have a whole lot of recoil to begin with. But I think after this review, or after this video, I'm just gonna make it a direct suppressor host, just because having a little PDW like this, I think they all gotta be suppressed, right? But really nice little muzzle brake there. This is threaded in 1/28, so it's gonna fit a lot of your common muzzle brakes at the end of that, or any of your suppressor mounts that you have for 9mm. This is a 6-inch barrel right here that my wife tells me all the time that is more than enough to get a job done. But I did see another version of this on my buddy James Reeves' channel, TFB TV, that had a tri-lug at the end of that, and I believe that comes out to like 6.5 inches. I would probably prefer the tri-lug version more than this, because I do have a bunch of tri-lug suppressors that I just put on and off on a bunch of my other PCCs. And this one, I mean, having a 1/28 thread, it's not going to be a deal breaker for me, because I can just take that tri-lug off and put a different adapter on there. But I mean, I would just like a simple ease of, you know, just tri-lugging, you know. Kind of unfortunate that they didn't come out with a couple of features that I'm going to get into here on the version that they showed off on TFB TV, and comparing it to this one. Now moving on to the upper, you got a full metal monolithic upper here that I think looks very sleek, and also very B&T APC9 Streebog-esque, I would say. You got M-lock slots on the right, so 2 there, on the left, and then 2 on the bottom right there. So if you're planning on SBR in this or something, you could put a nice grip right here. Now this has a full 1913 top rail here and integrated flip-up sights here. And they have 2 functions, I guess. Well, 2 different types of backup sights here. So you have your flip-up sights here that will co-witness with an optic. I don't think they co-witness with this one though, because I feel like this optic mount here is a little bit taller. But they do have some very cool backup sights where they look like the Springfield Hellcat style of pistol sights. So you got that white U-notch. I think you can see it there. They have a white U-notch right there, and then they have a white dot front sight. I don't know if you can see that. The white dot front sight right there. Very similar to the Hellcat. I haven't really, let me see, I have an Echelon over here. I think they look exactly like the Echelon ones too, so very cool that a company like HS Products is making essentially all their line of firearms very similar. Now with that said, this is very similar to the Streebog, where the Streebog kind of has the same setup where you can flip up the sights to co-witness, or if you have them down, you could also use those sights if you don't have those flipped up. But these are metal compared to the Streebog, where they're plastic, so I would much prefer having metal backup sights over plastic. You also have a non-reciprocating flip down charging handle right here that is able to be swapped to the other side if you wanted to. Now that's another unfortunate thing that I saw that came with this one that did not, I guess it did not have the other side of the charging handle. So on the coverage, I mean, just look up TFB-TV EWA IWA coverage of the Kuna, and you'll see the different features that I'm talking about here. But it had another charging handle on the right side. I don't know why they didn't just give you that option. I would prefer the 2 charging handles, but I mean, the cool thing that is ambidextrous, where you can just pop it onto the other side. So hey, it is what it is. Maybe trying to keep that price down, and we'll get to the price in a second. Now, behind that non-reciprocating charging handle, you do have a delayed blowback operating system in this firearm. Now, this is very similar to the Strebog SP9A3, the delayed blowback version of the Strebog. And I think, though, I'm gonna have to do a versus video between the two. But I think this one shoots a little bit smoother. Unfortunately, I didn't take my Strebog out, but this one feels extremely smooth when you're shooting this thing. Not as smooth as an MP5. I still have yet to find a gun as smooth as an MP5. I would say it's still not as smooth as an MPX, but it is right there with the Strebog, or maybe the B&T APC9, somewhere in that realm of smoothness or softness of shooting. Why did I say realm like that? Like realm? Sorry, I'm getting a little sick, a little sniffly, but maybe I just had a weird accent going on there. More features on the receiver here. You have a QD attachment point on the right, and you also have one on the left side. Moving on to the stock, though, or the brace here, because this is a pistol. ATF. This is the side folding brace from Strike Industries. Now, this is a very exciting part for me, just because I am very close friends with these Strike Industries guys. I have been testing a lot of their products for many, many years, probably since like 2016 or something like that. I've been shooting with a bunch of the Strike guys and testing a lot of their parts. And this side folder here was a cool collaboration to have upon this release. I really like having these braces here on a lot of my little PDW looking guns. But this is a full metal piece here with a metal side folding attachment piece that you just lift up there. Very similar to your other single folding side pieces. And then this back brace here is plastic, which has a little QD attachment point right there. And they do sell attachments where you can put a little cheek weld right here. So that way, if you're using optics, sit a little bit higher like this, you can have a cheek weld right there. I probably have one around here to show you. But this little attachment here does have 3 positions on each side, so you can kind of like pivot it up this way. You could bring it up this way. For some reason, if you wanted it angled like that, you can, but you just take these 2 screws off and move it wherever you want. And it also is rounded off at the top, so it makes it extremely smooth when you have your cheek on there. But you can definitely use that accessory there. Now, moving on, we have fully ambidextrous controls. You have a magazine release on the right here, and you also have a magazine release on the left. So for you lefties out there, you can definitely use that. And you also have a bolt release and bolt lock on the right and left as well, which I think is super convenient to have it on the right side, just because you can lock your bolt back that way. So just like an AR-15, you would pull this back, right? Hopefully I can show that to you. Then you push that down and it'll lock the bolt, right? So on the right side, say you have a malfunction or something like that, and you don't want to basically drop the gun down to try to fix this malfunction like a normal AR-15 would, you can just use that bolt lock and bolt release, push that down while you're bringing that bolt back at the same time. Push that down and you're locked open. Super cool feature, super easy to use. Magwell is decently open. I do not have problems with reloading that there, and I do not have problems with hitting those ambidextrous controls. Now, one thing that I'm kind of curious about, now I haven't really been following the Kuna. I believe it's been in development for quite a while now, but I haven't really been following the different changes that they've made to this. But if you can see right here, let me see if you can see right here, there's a big notch cut out, right? And it shows metal down there. Hopefully you can see like right here, which looks like it's enough space to have a paddle there. So if you see right there, it looks like maybe they used to have a paddle, or maybe they were thinking about putting a paddle release there, but maybe you were able to flip that down and pull the magazine out. Now I may be wrong about the paddle thing here, but would you even want a paddle on this gun? I mean, the Scorpion first came out with a paddle, then they switched to a normal mag release, which I kind of appreciated a little bit more. It feels like a paddle will slow you down a little bit more when it comes to the reloads rather than just a normal AR-15 mag release. But paddles are very cool, and I do love them on my MP5s. Now let's move on to the texturing that you're seeing on the grip and the front magazine well right here, and even the mag releases and the bolt catches. They basically use the same texturing on the Hellcat, the Echelon. Across the board on all their HS products, I see the same exact texturing here. Now moving on back to the ambidextrous safety here, does have that same texturing that's used across the board on this gun, but the biggest complaint that I have about this gun was how stiff the safety was, or still is in a way. When I first got it, it was extremely stiff. I had to press the crap out of this guy to get it to even go down. But even now, when I'm kind of running drills, I have to put a lot of oomph in bringing that back up. It's never really down that I have an issue with, but it's coming back up to safe where I'm having that issue. Now with that said, I did shoot 800 rounds through this thing, and it kind of worked itself in, but still not the way I would like it. So hopefully that does work itself out over time and feel a little bit smoother, but right now it's still kind of stiff. Now moving on to the trigger. The trigger is a flat face metal trigger, and it is a very nice trigger. It feels kind of like a two-stage trigger here. So you got this, let me see right here. You got that slack there, break, reset, a little bit of slack, break. Now, very nice trigger. I was able to get pretty good splits on this, and the fact of how smooth this is and how nice this trigger is, I was able to stay on target very, very well. But I think this is a excellent trigger for the price that this thing's coming in at. Now, last but not least, the grip here. Same texturing like I was saying before, but it is an AR-15 grip where you can swap it out to whatever other grip that you wanted that fits on any other AR-15. Now that pretty much does it for the Springfield Armory Kuna right here. What do you think about this gun? I was pretty excited when I saw it online and on my buddy's channel. I couldn't wait to get it in my hands, and I am very impressed on this firearm. For that $1,000 price tag, I think it's going to come in at $999, I think, with the brace or without the brace. But basically there's two options. There's the brace version with the strike brace here, and the non-brace version, and it's going to come around $1,000, which I think is an excellent price for this guy here. Definitely punching above his weight class. I think a good video to do a comparison or a versus video would be between this and the Streebog. I think I should definitely make that video, maybe even throwing a Scorpion in there. But the Springfield Armory Kuna here is definitely going to get a couple more videos on my channel when it comes down to long-term use and seeing if that safety is going to be working itself in, or seeing if any problems arise in general, because I think the 800 rounds that I put through this thing is just not enough for me to say like, hey, this is a super reliable gun. But that's my own personal opinion on a gun that I'm testing for myself. But from what I've seen on the internet, it's not a gun that they just threw out at some people and said, hey, go ahead and test this out and see if it works. And the other ones that are out there have had a lot of rounds through them, especially since there's actual police forces that are using these. I would have no doubt that I'd have no issues though, since there are police forces out there that are using this firearm specifically chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. So 40 Smith & Wesson isn't really my cup of tea when it comes down to in a handgun, but in a pistol or PCC here, subgun, I think it would do pretty damn well, just because I do have those 3 points of contact now, and it's also a delayed blowback. So I'm very interested to see how that 40 Smith & Wesson one shoots. I do hope that one day they do come out with a 10mm version, because I'm big on 10mm right now. I mean, what other calibers would you like them in? Drop it down in the comments below. But the new Springfield Armory has definitely Kuna'd my Tatas. And hopefully they Kuna your Tatas, because I think this is going to be a very popular sale. And I would love to see some aftermarket support. So Kinetic Development, HB Industries, Haga Defense. You'll probably see some stuff coming from those guys very soon. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time. Love you all. Catch you all on the next one.